Hi. Oh my god, you still remember me? Are we still friends? Oh my god. It's been like a month since I posted. I don't know if you're gonna see this first or the sustainability one. I think this one first. So I mean, stay tuned for the sustainability one. But I've been away for like a month. I haven't posted in nearly 4 weeks, probably 4 weeks by the time you see this. A month just flew by so quickly. Today we have a theme as well, if you've probably seen it. You know, it's this 1 year update of me like adulting, living my life, having graduated, living on my own. I'm gonna be doing my makeup very casually today. I'm just meeting a friend for dinner. I've not been posting, okay? It's just like life got in the way. And after not posting, because I usually post like once a week, right? After not posting like twice, then I had the cruise, and then I was working on something else. I'm starting to date someone, so you know, my time just like completely got taken up, and I told myself, yeah lah, let's just take an unofficial break and let's just chill out, because I knew that in December I wanted to kick things into high gear and really produce like stellar stuff for y'all. And for a while I was actually super freaking jaded. Probably show you guys what I'm using. I'm using this The Face Shop's like oil control pore balm. It's pretty nice. All of the videos that I've been doing, even, you know, past recently, I can't say recently because I haven't made one in a while. But even the videos that I made before I went on this like unofficial, I guess, hiatus, they weren't doing well, and I was feeling very creatively in a rut. And it wasn't like I had run out of ideas, I just felt like none of my ideas were good enough or interesting enough to show them. And I always start out all of my Chatty Get Readys with me, because I think I revert to Chatty Get Ready with me after being in this like creative rut. So I always sort of bring this up to explain my absence. It's a pattern. After speaking to a lot of people, the main advice that sort of jumps out at me that I realized I haven't even thought about was the fact that I should just create content that I enjoy rather than catering to what I think people want. And it's just very convoluted for me to try and think about what y'all want and then get really upset when it doesn't deliver. I'm just gonna go back to my roots on like how we used to do things. I hope you enjoyed like classic old Brenda. Very excited to be coming back to make— oh, this head is like huge. Okay. You know, probably include some food as well, cooking. I know y'all have been asking me about that. And then, you know, maybe some hair, I don't know, maybe some story time. I kind of miss doing story times. This is the Flawless Beauty Primer by Pixi. Look at this glow that it gives. Immediately you can tell it's beautiful. Into the topic of being an adult, my first year of adulthood, living alone, being graduated, all that kind of shmang. Wait, hold on, I want to try this first. This is the Excel Skin Tint Serum in ST03. I think this is my shade. Okay, you know, so this is an appropriate like segueing time to talk about how I am as an adult. I'm guessing you guys are probably interested because I've moved out on my own, I've graduated, and I'm working as a full-time YouTuber, which, you know what, I'm still very awkward about. I still don't really know how to explain to people what I do. On forms and like official stuff, I just write self-employed, and then when people ask me what I do, instead of having to go into a paragraph of like, oh, so you know, I create content, like, sometimes I just say YouTuber and I like to watch the reaction of people's faces. There was this one time, it was like a whole round table of people like talking about their profession, and some of them are like huge graphic designers and like product designers and blah blah. And then they came to me and they were like, oh, what do you do? And then I was like, oh, I'm a content creator. Like, I also do like, I can't even say filmmaking because I haven't made a film in so long, but I was just like, oh yeah, I'm a content creator. Like, I make stuff on. Then they're like, oh, you're an influencer. And then everyone collectively exhaled and sort of turned away and dispersed. It hurt me for like 5 minutes, okay? But then I was just like, dang, why do people still not think that what I do and what other people do, creating content, being influencers, is not a job? Because technically our hours are occupied by doing this. We work in advertising. I'm also mentioning this because there was this guy that my friend was dating that kept asking her why is she friends with me because I am so vapid and I'm an influencer, and he's never met me, he doesn't know me. So he just went on and on about like how influencers contribute nothing to society. Even the people that you think are the most vapid or the most superficial, like, they do so much work to make their Instagram or whatever other platform that they use like beautiful and to create a fantasy, and there are people that genuinely enjoy it. So the same way a performer performs on stage, or the same way a product designer creates a good beautiful product for someone else to enjoy, that's what influencers essentially do as well. They sell you a fantasy, they sell you a lifestyle, even at its most like vapid level. You know, there are people that do way beyond. So I don't know. It seems a little bit hypocritical to me when people go like, oh yeah, they're like so empty, they contribute nothing. Because I mean, you're not really looking past their surface to really see what they're trying to do and how they drive the economy. And quite honestly, I don't think companies will pay influencers if they don't get their returns on it. It's not the hardest job in the world. It's a very privileged place to be in, but it's still a job, it's still a vocation, people are still doing it. And I think people just don't like the idea of people earning money from seeming like they have fun. But then again, the arts and performance, it's all the end product that matters, and you don't really see what's going on in the process behind it. So you can't always assume just because a girl is looking beautiful twirling her dress in Bali that she didn't have to lug those dresses there, take plenty of photos, figure out the best angle, edit the photos, do the lighting, do the colors, all of that to sort of achieve that end product. Does that make sense? Okay, that was a huge segue and not really part of the main theme of what's going on and what we're talking about today. But I just really had to get that out because I've just been hearing the talk about this so much, and now that I'm like spending more time with the people in my community and the people that do what I do, I'm like, wow, they really work quite hard. For the longest time, I felt very ashamed also to be like, oh, I'm lumped in with one of them, like one of these like influencers who do nothing and just like take pretty photos. But I've like really come to have a certain sense of respect for them. You don't have to put them on a pedestal, you don't have to like worship them, you don't have to like think that they're better than other people. Just let them do their thing, you know? It not only like made me feel guilty and ashamed to be a part of this group, it wanted me to almost like vindictively set myself apart from it. I am a YouTuber, I'm part of this content creation hub, and I should take pride in it, and I should just focus on creating like the best quality stuff without really thinking about like what other people think of me. Because clearly, you know, when you're not an engineer, you just think that they're just crunching numbers or like figuring stuff out in buildings when in fact they do way more, and it's just the same vice versa. I think we're very, very quick to judge people, especially people that look like they can be very easily judged. That's one point of adulting actually. Yeah, speaking of adulting, now that I've graduated, let me just share with you what I've been doing post-grad. I felt a lot of apprehension. I started YouTube the same time I started university, so I was living on campus for 2 years, then I went to New York, and then I stayed at home for a short bit, and I was like, can't do it. And then I moved out, and then I finished my final year, my final semester, and then I graduated. And I was scared because I was like, got no plans to have no job, no nothing. And at the same time, you have like that Singaporean mentality, which is like, if you're not studying, you better be working. If you're not working, you're not studying, then what the hell are you doing? You're wasting your time, you're wasting your life, like, ugh. But I decided to jump in and do it anyway. And the thing is, the more time you allocate to your work and to your craft, the more opportunities arise, and the better you do your job, the more they'll keep coming back for it. The better of a job you do and the more prompt you are. And I guess it's also like service, like how well you present yourself, how professional you are. To me, I was like, okay, so I've got like a steady stream. There will be lulls in jobs, opportunities, campaigns. So like they have like financial quarters and financial years. This is something that I've noticed. They will dip because like advertising campaigns close and they're trying to like do accounting and they're trying to like close this plan for the next one. So there'll be dips from time to time. But the craziest thing is it's not as unpredictable as I thought it would be. Let me just do my other eyebrow first before I continue talking. This is from Benefit, the brow styler, it's new. They also have this like brow powder here that I don't really use as often. It provides like a softer look, but I like harsh edges, like feathery looks. Anyway, so as I was saying, with like the dips and the lulls in like campaigns and job opportunities, right, I used to panic. But then I realized I started doing accounting on my own. So I started tracking like how much I'm earning. I built myself like a little invoice system. I say that like it's super impressive. I built an invoice system. No, I just kept track of the numbers and like the, you know, it's just, I noticed that even when I seem like I'm not doing anything or like I feel like I'm underperforming or I'm not working on enough campaigns, it never seems to fluctuate that much. I can sort of pin like a small range average. And so on the months where I earn more than that average, I will save up. I won't spend that money. I feel like as a person, I don't have as many things that I want that are expensive than just having an expensive hobby. So the things that I like to do, like filmmaking or like painting, or I'm gonna use the Bye Bye Under Eye Full Coverage Waterproof Concealer. I don't spend too much money, and I know that when I have more money, it's for rainy days. So I just kind of put it aside, I invest it. I've talked about like robo investors before. It's really not as like impressive as it sounds. The thing is, right, I realized that like adulting, for the most part, it's just a lot of big words but very simple things. Now that I do have a better grasp of it, I still get very intimidated because there's this problem of like adult people wanting you to do adult things but not truly being able to explain what they are. And I feel like this like adulthood learning curve is expedited for me because I don't have my employer or my parents to sort of cover for me or take an example from. I sort of had to figure out all of these things on my own. And I know I can ask my parents, but I think in the current climate, we have a better chance of like picking up things that are like better in the long run than what worked for boomers in the past, I feel, my opinion. And I also feel like sometimes, especially now, my parents don't have the best financial habits. I think especially once they get past a certain age, they're like, whatever lah, and then just blow money everywhere, and that freaks me out. The good thing is I'm quite curious and I'm quite kaypoh, and once you get past the intimidation and the fear and the embarrassment of not knowing these things, it actually becomes pretty approachable. And the biggest thing is adulthood looks and works differently for everybody, depending on what your job is, depending on what you require, depending on what your lifestyle is, your budget. You know, all these things are so tailored to what works for you completely and what you need. And I just feel like I've been doing what works for me and what I need now, and what suits my personality. Because I'm go all the time. I used to get burnout very quickly because I really didn't know what to do with myself if I'm not working. Because I'm here all the time. This is my office, this is my home. I don't really have like colleagues or co-workers to like slack off with. I don't have an employer to answer deadlines to. I just have myself and my sense of discipline. And funny thing is that I really don't think that it was as scary and intimidating as it did in my head. Like, the fear of uncertainty is a lot scarier than the uncertainty. The older you grow, you realize everyone's just trying to figure shit out, and everyone's just kind of doing what works at that point, and they try and figure out like later what's going on. And I just feel like sometimes I'm doing that also. That's not good in the long run, but it works now and I'm gonna do it. And sometimes it works in the long run, like just by choice. The first few months I was really like go, and then I would get super burnt out, and then I wouldn't be able to do anything for like a week or two, and then I would get so stressed out and so guilty about not being able to do anything that I'd start go again, and then I die down, and then it was really like this, like back and forth. My mental health was in shambles. Whoa, it was so bad. And my personal life was really suffering. I mean, if you couldn't tell from how shitty like that freaking Tinder date was, the two that came after were marginally worse, I want to say. Actually, worse. And so I had given up on dating, and I was really just completely concentrated on my work because I really had nothing else to live for. I felt like I was accomplishing a lot, but then suddenly the output like gradually decreased even though the same amount of work was being put in, and I was getting scared, I was getting jaded. And because my mental health was so unstable, I would swing from a pendulum of, oh my god, I'm just like saying no to clients and like working this out, what's going on, am I an adult, wow, and spinning all the way to the other side where I'm like, I'm a fraud, I'm a cheat, I'm a scam, what is this, like what am I doing, I have a theatre degree, am I not doing theatre, like what's going on, like I tried going for a job interview, you know, early on in the year, but it was so freaking disastrous. I don't know if I've ever mentioned this. Let me know if I have. Maybe I can do a story time on it. It was really bad. I was like, I would rather work for myself and be broke than to earn that amount of money working for this horrible, like really cringy person. I was fueled by that determination so much that when I had my good days, that would, you know, cushion the good days, and like I would fly really high. But when I was down, it really crushed me. So this is where the learning curve kicks in. Doing freelance, it's no longer a thing of if you're not working, you're rubbish and you have absolutely nothing to do with your life. Everyone needs breaks. I started by sectioning Sundays out because I was like, most friends don't reply on Sundays anyway. There are some people that would reply and would ask you for things on Sunday. If it's it's absolutely urgent, I will reply it, but most of the time if I do receive it, it's a matter of communication. Honestly, it's not so bad. So I would just be like, hey, just so you know, I got your message, but I'm not working on Sundays, so I'll get back to you tomorrow. Like, have a good weekend, you know, rest well. And most of them are very, very happy to accommodate. So that has been great. Let me add a little sparkle. And I know how on Sundays, like some people like to go out, have family time or have friends time or brunch time. But for me, because I go out so often on weekdays, Sunday is my I live in a cave day. So I would like literally close all the curtains. I would sit in my little hole and then watch something on Netflix on my own. The first few Sundays were torturous. I was like, wait, let me just write this caption. Wait, let me just edit this video. Let me do this, let me do that. Let me get back to all my emails so that it's clean on Monday. But then the more I did it and the more I sort of conditioned myself, okay, Sunday is your rest day. Like, it's okay to do absolutely nothing because you have worked hard for the 6 days prior to this Sunday. It made me feel so much better. And I felt like I had some semblance of a balance and I really enjoyed myself. As time went by, obviously Sunday I'll go out. Some people can only meet on Sundays. I'll go out and meet you because I love you. And there'll be days where like Tuesdays, I'm absolutely not doing anything at all, so that will be my rest day. Just allocating like one day and being flexible. I also didn't put any under eye concealer. Wow. What makes you think you don't need it, bitch? And like I said, right, this past year I have been going for therapy and like, you know, sort of training my brain to not always be so broken. And I've really learned to speak to myself as if I'm speaking to my best friend or like a friend who really wants you to do well and do good and be okay in life, like a genuine caring without judgment. Because we tend to do that for our friends, but we are always so critical and so horrible to ourselves. We're like, you little piece of shit, you didn't do this, you worthless piece of crap. And we would never say this to our best friends. We would never say this to people that we love. So why are we saying this to ourselves? So that change in mindset also really helped me like learn how to take care of myself. Self-care is not the same as self-indulge. Self-indulge like binge eating or buying lots and lots of things. Treat yourself and then like doing all these things is not the same as caring for yourself. Caring for yourself is like working out, eating well, making sure you're well rested, taking care of your skin, adjusting your mental moods, journaling. Like, I feel like those self-care things cannot be like lumped together with like binge eating and excessive shopping and stuff. So that's something I also learned in adulting. I'm just really like letting everything go and I'm just talking about everything because in all honesty, I can't really separate my job from myself because I am my job. I'm taking like a dark brown and I'm just lining my eyes so that the liquid eyeliner is not gonna be too harsh. Also, I've got very fluffy, very beautiful lashes. I actually switched. Because my usual lash lady, Tina, she's very busy. Tina is based in like deep in Pasir Ris and it's just not that convenient for me. And then this new place now, it's called Beauty Mansion. They used to be called The Adore and they are like right next to the entrance at Chinatown. So Leona's been doing my lashes, but this time around, because Leona wasn't in, Taryn did my lashes. So if you want to check them out, I'll like list it down below. I just feel like this year has been the year of character development. You can actually tell from your birth charts whether like your growth as a human being is going to be an outward sort of growth and inward sort of growth. Mine is charted mostly on the outwards and it's very interesting and I can't wait to talk to you about it. I feel like you've seen a lull in the videos, but in the planning like back end, there's been so many like very exciting things and I hope that I can just knock them out of the park and send them your way before like I overthink it and I don't ever do it, because I feel like that's sort of what's happening now. Oh, and the other thing that I've sort of had to learn also, I don't know how applicable this is to everyone else, particularly people who enjoy spending money, but for me, I don't know, I'm a saver, I'm a Capricorn, that's what I do, you know. I just like to save because I know that it's very important to save for rainy days. I've had to use rainy day money before, so like I understand like the pain of being like, oh, I suddenly need like this amount of money, but thank God I have it. So like that sort of security for me can never be replaced by any of these like big impulse buys. And the things that I want to buy, like a house or anything, it's just like big purchases that require a lot of money, more so than just like quick like bags and shoes and stuff like that. So it's been really hard to get me to enjoy the money that I make. And I know that this might sound like in complete contrast to what I said about like being able to be smart with your money, but there are certain extremes that I feel like I was on the extreme of like being very frugal and not letting myself enjoy the money. So I just like sort of move myself back to everything in moderation. So to spend on like a pricier meal just for the sake of enjoying the food. I feel like sometimes like I get so like, okay, Ban Mian does the same thing, it's only like 350, meh, meh, meh. And I don't really allow myself to like really indulge and get something that I really want, or like get something that just makes me happy in that moment. As long as I don't do it very, very often, like it just feels like a special treat to me sometimes. And now that I'm an adult, now that it's my own money that I can spend, it just feels so much more satisfying. You know, you don't have anyone to answer to, so that's like a really big highlight of adulting. Ah, damn, I could have used these today. Okay, these are the new like Etude House Holiday eyeshadow palettes. Just want to show it very quickly to y'all. Cute, right? These colors? Wow! So I think we're done with like the job aspect of adulting. Let's talk about character development. I like to think about my life sometimes as a movie just to see how the plot is progressing. Like, do I have enough self-growth? Do I have enough like character development? Do I feel like I'm stagnant, or do I feel like I'm growing as a person? If you watch your favorite like TV shows like throughout the seasons, your characters have to grow and change and adapt. So like Chandler from Friends, for example, afraid of commitment, like incapable of accessing his feelings, and then after being with Monica, he grows and he wants the commitment and he like learns how to take care and love and work through problems and all that kind of stuff. So I just asked myself, like, have I been developing as a character? I'm gonna use this. It's a cream blush. It's my new fave. It's from Ken Make. It's called Cream Cheek in 18. Ooh, it's so nice. Just wait, just wait, just wait. Just tap a little bit. Just sort of smear it and then blend it out. Oh, gives you the nicest, prettiest, like soft glowy flush. You see it? Cute. I actually like cried. We were hanging out like a group of us girls. It's like some music thing, you know, we went to sort of like have fun. But then we really weren't feeling it because it was very chaotic. The music wasn't that great. It started raining, so everyone moved in. We were talking about like our problems and stuff, and I was telling them about my shitty dates and how I had completely given up on dating because how come I don't deserve to be in a good relationship? How come I don't deserve to meet someone who will treat me in a non-abusive way? The bar is so low. Because I want to have a family and I want to have someone to love. Like, I have a lot of love to give. Like, I just feel like I want to love someone, right? I just never really truly considered the possibility that I might not end up with anyone at all and that I might just live my life completely by myself. At the end of the day, it's not the people that I've dated that are making me miserable. It's the fact that I cannot meet someone that I feel like I'm comfortable dating, that I would want to date. Why do I have such bad luck in dating? Like, why can't, you know, I just be in like a functional, happy, healthy relationship? Like, what's wrong with me? So that's why I was crying, because I was like, is there something wrong with me? And I was like, you know what? This past half year, it's been the best year I've ever had, like career-wise. I know Ariana Grande kind of said something like that last year. It was like, oh, you know, like career-wise, this is the best I've ever done, but personally, it's the worst year it's ever been, and she sort of cried. But I just remember seeing that tweet on Twitter, and I was like, oh, I really relate, because I'm just working so hard in my career, and that's also where the frustration from like dating and not having things work out from is that like I work so hard for everything and I'm scoring, you know, on everything except for dating. Like, I just can't seem to get it right. After me sitting there, and you know, the other bunch of girls that I was hanging out with were all like kind of miserable and crying also. Great time. After like from July onwards, I gave up. Like, I truly like did not date. I don't see myself ever going back on Tinder except to make videos. For the first time in my life, like given up the idea that I might have a family or like I might be with someone. Yeah, I was like, this is never gonna happen. Like, life is never gonna treat me that well because it's already done pretty well for me in other aspects. So I don't feel like I deserve to have it all. I sometimes feel like I'm not that good of a person to deserve it all. That's so sad. Then from giving up, then it was like, oh, actually this is fine. Like, oh, why was I even so stressed about wanting to be in a relationship? Why did I even want to date? Like, this is so great. And then the more I'm comfortable being single, the more I look around, I'm like, ooh, these like people that are attached and are like in relationships are not actually that happy. I'm a lot happier where I am. So maybe I should count my blessings. Maybe it's just like an itch that I wanted to scratch, but then now it's not itchy anymore. And I was kind of cruising for a while. It wasn't easy for me to get to this place in my life where I'm like was okay. It also helped that I was finally truly thinking about like realistically what having a child would entail, like no freedom at all. The sheer like amount of money it takes to raise a child, and to raise a child with someone that you know has to be like a team player also. Not just someone you love, but someone that has your back, that is like willing, and like how rare is that? So you know, for a while that like childless, like partnerless life really appealed to me, okay? Let me just apply my lips. Without lip liner, who am I? I don't know. This is from Maybelline actually. It's kind of new. It's the Super Stay Ink Crayon, and this is in shade... Ooh, Make It Happen 55. I really like it because it's just such a nice crayon. It's matte also. It stays pretty well. I wouldn't say it's super stay because the inside does tend to come off a little bit when you eat and when you drink, but it's so easy to reapply and it's quite sharp that you really don't need a lip liner. Maybe it was a mistake, but hey, we can fix mistakes. That's what 2019's been about. Let me open the curtain a bit because now it's getting a little... So this will be the completed look. I will be wearing my glasses, you know, but I'm not gonna wear them now because I wanna do my hair. We're gonna use something relatively new to me, and I'm guessing to you as well. I'm gonna clip up half of my hair and then I'm gonna show y'all what's going on. And I'm also gonna... Alright, beautiful. So attractive. Okay, so for today's hair, I'm actually going to curl it or wave it, I don't know. But I'm gonna use the Ayuga's Elixir 2-in-1 hair straightener and curler. This looks weird. That's because it is weird. But this is actually a fan and this cannot be opened. Trust me, before I read the instructions, I tried to pry it open and I heard a pry and I was like, ooh, that sounds bad. Heat protectant. Let me just spritz it. Oh, went my eye. Okay, so let me tell you about this like freaking hair tool. It's very strange. There are 5 different heat settings. The lowest being 140 degrees Celsius and it goes all the way up to about 220 degrees Celsius. So instead of it being a kiap, it's a floating board. And at first, I'm not gonna lie, when I saw it, I was like, what's this nonsense? I just want my normal one. Because I was like, this is bullshit. Like you can't, like it takes so much effort for you to like go in and get to make sure that all of the things are in. These holes are ventilation for the fan. I still don't really know what the fan does. I think the fan cools down the hair to sort of build up the curl. I'll show you like with fan and without fan and you can see if there's a difference. But yeah, this floating board is the new technology. And when I first used it, like the first like 5 minutes, I really didn't like it. But then I was like, okay, this is actually quite convenient. So let me show you. You press this button, which provides very little resistance, you know. Slot it in. I usually slot it in the center and then I go up. And then, because it's a floating board, you don't have to worry that you're gapping too hard. So all you have to do is just like that. And then you get the curl. Let me show you what it looks like if you continue turning. Because the outside barrel of it is curved, and because it's a floating board, it doesn't provide any friction essentially at all. Because if you saw my previous Get Ready With Me, I was curling my hair with a straightener, just the normal straightener, and it was difficult because the straightening iron was very thick and also because it was very flat. This sort of just solves that problem, and it doesn't provide any friction because sometimes you have to be very careful. You gotta like slowly release it and you gotta make sure that it doesn't stay in one spot for too long because you don't want to burn your hair. So this is the curl. You can do a little bit more with it. I don't know if you should like do this. I don't know because online there's no like video tutorial and no one... Oh! That's pretty good, right? Holy shit. And I did it really like half-heartedly because I didn't know if it was gonna work. Oh, so I've been doing it wrong. Okay, straightening it would be really easy. You just like that and then like that. And then bam. Straight, smooth, sleek, shiny. But I'm not a straight hair bitch. I'm a curly hair bitch. So I'm gonna, you know, curl my hair. Yes, as long as you pick out like sections that are like quite friendly for vertical gapping, you can just sort of gap it up like this. It's not really a big deal. I do this, so this is like my way of making it like easier. So if you're like a straightener girl and you don't know how to curl your hair with that like flipping method, you can try this. And I think this is where like the fan option sort of comes in. Oh my god, it works! Let me turn on like the fan example and show you all what's up. This is not bad, you know, for like 160 degrees Celsius. It's like way below the normal one. Oh. That's nice! You see that? Oh my god, okay. Like this. I like to curl it away from my face. I feel like we've already established that. Okay, so see? This is a wave that you can do as well. So technically there are 3 different ways that you can use this product. And maybe more if you figure them out. If you're like an Einstein of like curling hair. I don't think the fan does more than just distribute the heat, but it's very noisy, so I'm gonna turn it off. By the way, Ayuga has like a special promotion for y'all if you want to get this. It retails for $69.90, but with Brenda 10, you get 10% off. Yeah, that's pretty cool. And it's valid until the 31st of January next year, 2020. And 2020 is gonna be my year, man. Oh my god, I cannot wait. 24 is my favorite number. My age will be 24. 2020 is a nice, round, even number. I have a lot of good feelings towards it. Which reminds me, probably a good time to go back to our timeline. The later half of 2019, even though, you know, this whole year has been a challenge and stuff, but there are like pretty bittersweet, like heartfelt, fulfilling moments, and a lot of a throwback actually. It's quite interesting because I felt like I was like very go this entire time, and I was excited to try new things and new things and new things, and finally I'm sort of like returning to my roots. I was talking to my best friend and we ended up like just by accident like being on Facebook and like stalking and seeing who's getting married. Now my friends are getting married and having kids, yeah. Like that's how you know you're being an adult. We were on Facebook, you know, just checking up on people, and then I stumbled on like my first love. Yeah, it's like 8 years ago. We used to be best friends and then we like stopped hanging out. It was like, it's a long story. Maybe I'll tell you next time. But the first thing my best friend said was like, wow, she's still very cute. And I was like, yeah. And then I just like had this crazy decision where, hey, should I just like text her and see what's up? And so I texted. She responded enthusiastically and we hung out, and then we've been hanging out ever since. And we're dating now. And this is the first time in ever that I've dated that's not from Tinder. Like I told y'all, I'm not good at dating. I don't date my friends. In case y'all don't know, I'm bisexual. I guess I used to say pansexual, but I think bisexual is a little bit more easy for people to understand now. Essentially, I'm just gender blind. It doesn't really matter to me. And I've never tried to hide it. I've been pretty open about it. But I think because I look so straight and I look very feminine, I guess people don't really see me as queer. It's been going pretty well. There's been like ups and downs for sure. It's a big learning curve from being single for so long and, you know, finally being happy being single. That's just life, right? When you're finally okay, like being on your own, you know, the universe just throws you someone else in your ranch. That's essentially been the biggest reason why I haven't been making videos. And with YouTube videos, because it's such a long process, right? So I've just been working on a lot of it, but I've never like fully reached the end of it. I just be very honest, like it always stops at editing, because editing takes hours and hours and hours of me being on my own, and she's mostly at home with me, so I don't usually spend hours on the computer screen. It's someone that I've had 8 years of history with, and this is something that's like super outside of like my typical dating habits, I guess. So it warrants like its own video, but I don't know if I'm ready to do that yet, and I don't know if she's ready for this to be out yet. If you follow me on Instagram, you probably have an idea about, you know, who this person is. Oh, look at that curl. Wow! I'm proud of myself. But in essence, I've just been enjoying like a slower pace of life and just enjoying her company more than I am like struggling to get workout and stuff. And to be very honest, she's been helping me film a couple of things, so it's been nice. Like, it's been good to have someone that's like a team player. And this is not to say that like dating someone has fixed all of my problems, because it's definitely introduced new problems. Even before you get into a relationship, even while dating, like you start to notice there are things about someone that you don't know if you can live with, or vice versa, they feel the same about you, and it's just like difficult. At the end of the day, it's like really growing pains. Like, how much are you willing to compromise and work things out and take the time to, on both ends, you know, see if how something will work or something won't work. So a lot of my physical energy has been spent like hanging out with her, and a lot of my emotional energy has been used to like getting used to dating someone and being with someone, and, you know, like relearning all of these things. No, it's funny lah, like you want something so bad, and then when you finally get it, you're like, oh shit, how do I do this? So, you know, at the end of the day, right now, I just told myself, I think it's more important to focus on my personal life. I just felt like because this entire year I've been so like non-stop about my work, which is essentially me, you know what I mean? So like I just been focusing so much on myself that I felt very guilty lah. I was like, oh, I'm just so like self-absorbed and like my job is just me, and I just wanted to get out of that zone for a while. And I'm glad that like there's someone who I'm with now that I can sort of spend the energy on. So maybe I'll tell you all more about it, maybe I won't. I don't know how this is going to take. I don't know if you're gonna be accepting of it. I don't even know how my parents are gonna take it. I feel like I've not explicitly told them yet. Oh my god, if they are watching this, then this is me coming out to them, I guess. We just don't have that kind of relationship, like me and my parents. If it's important enough, if it's a relationship, like a fully blown relationship, if I'm introducing my partner to everyone as my partner, then I will do the same for my parents. But if I'm just dating, then I usually don't really say anything lah. Because you also don't know, but you know, you don't want to keep like introducing them and being like, this is this person, and oh, this is new, like, and this is this. I'm not in a hurry to be in a relationship. I've already experienced what it feels like to be in a relationship, and I've also experienced what it feels like to not crave a relationship and to be completely self-sufficient and single and happy really not too long ago. So I feel pretty okay. Like I feel like I don't have to rush things. For the first time in my life, I don't really have anxiety over where this is going and like all this kind of weird stuff. I'm just truly like enjoying my current partner's company, and I'm just living my best life. And that, friends and family, is what I feel adulting is all about. Just doing what works for you at your own pace and really figuring out like what you're truly comfortable with. 2019 was like a very long year and a very short year all in one. You know, I really don't know what to feel about it now that we're reaching like the end of it. And now that I'm truly like doing a full recap of 1 year, having graduated, living on my own. You know what? I didn't even really talk about like living on your own. I will give you a pro tip right now. Just do your household chores when you need to do them so that they don't become like a whole big thing where you have to vacuum the floor and do the dishes and like do your laundry all in the same day. Like if the bathroom is dirty while you're showering, then just before you shower, just clean it off. Or like, you know, vacuum the floor if it looks a bit dirty. Because that way, it never feels like you need to do chores because you always do it on the go anyway. That's like my biggest tip for like living on your own. Even in the dorms or whatever, that's how I've always done things. Ooh, okay. So yeah, I'm gonna turn this off. This also auto turns off in like half an hour, but why wait half an hour when you can turn it off yourself? Very simple. You obviously can imagine what straight hair looks like. Once again, Brenda10 for 10% off the Ayuga website. I will link it down below. But this is just a very simple everyday look. If I wasn't talking, it'll probably take me like 15 minutes. I probably wouldn't even do like foundation just because... Okay, let me just sit here and talk to you all for a little bit more since we have the time. I'm very excited to be back. I'm very excited to be like making videos, and I feel like I have found my groove, I found my fire, and I'm finally feeling, for the first time in the whole year, like very fulfilled and very ready to go. And even though like it's been very tiring, you know, juggling like a new relationship and juggling having to do all these things on your own, like the entirety of this whole year has been figuring things out. And I feel like I am in a secure spot. Like I'm ready to just unleash all of my like creative energy on my endeavors and like make very interesting videos for y'all. So I hope you're excited about that. About that living alone thing, I guess we have to do like a separate video. Ask me questions. People are always asking me to give updates on like my double eyelids and like living alone and all these things, but I don't really know what you're asking in particular. Like my double eyelids just look like this. They just healed. I don't know what else to say. And like living alone and stuff, maybe there's something that I'm not thinking about that you're wondering. So if you're curious, like come and talk to me, leave it in the comments below. I would love to answer it for you guys. Maybe I can do like a Q&A or something. So yeah, I guess this is just like a little time capsule into what's going on in my brain right now. December of 2019. It's been a year, man. It's been such a roller coaster. It really has. And the craziest thing is that like the more you grow, like the older you become, the more like weathered and seasoned you are in taking hits, for example. So like when bad things happen, like I used to take them way worse than I do right now. I used to be very critical, and it used to get to me so easily and so deeply into my bones. But now like being 23 and rolling with the punches and just realizing that like life is like that. Like, you just make mistakes. People make mistakes that hurt you. Like, it's just a messy, messy world. It's important to acknowledge your mistakes and acknowledge like your learning curves and stuff, but it's also very important not to beat yourself up over something. Just treating yourself a little bit better. It did a lot more for me to recover from my mistakes by being forgiving and working to be better than just beating myself up over it. Honestly, figuring out adult life is not very different from figuring out how your teenage life was. It's just that you realize that like those things that used to affect you a lot in your teenage years are not the same as the ones in adulthood. Even if they are, you're more well equipped from your years of dealing with stuff in your teenage years to better handle like how you want to live your adult life. I'll just leave y'all here, okay? I feel like it's been going on for a very, very long time. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Like I said, if you have any questions, any video topics even that you want me to cover, just fill them in down below. Thank you for sticking by me. If you're new here, hi, what's up? Feel free to consider subscribing, you know. If you're already subscribed, then thank you so much for sticking by. Thank you for letting me take this break. I'm gonna be back and better than ever, and I'm so excited. Take care, I love you, bye!